How can you get more punch out of your kick drum to that specific punchy frequency without using an EQ, so that you can get a more professional sounding mix? Because that's what we all desire, and it starts with the foundation of the mix, the low end. And in this video, I'm going to show you a pretty interesting technique that I came up with that has worked great for me, and I used it on a previous album that I just mixed on every single track, and it made my drums knock and hit hard. If you're interested, stay tuned. So from here, the kick drum, I will send duplicates via buses to these aux tracks. So for example, I got K comp, K punch, K EQ, K sat, which is saturation, and K clip, and then K trig, which is my trigger track to trigger like bass and stuff like that. But they are corresponding to these auxes right here. We're going to be focusing on this K punch track today, but I just wanted to make sure that you were aware of what you were looking at so you didn't get confused at my setup. Now, I'm sending a duplicate of this kick drum, which is the aux track receiving these two audio tracks, and I'm sending them to here, K comp, punch, EQ, sat, and clip. Now, all of these are being blended in as they're parallel processing, and they're being blended into this main kick fader. And this is where I'll do my main kick processing, which you've seen in previous videos, which I'll link above, which you can watch. Is very helpful, the stuff that I do with the Voice of God plugin. But with all of that being said, now what we're going to focus on is just the K punch track, because today's video, I want to show you how to get your kick drum to punch more in the punchy frequency in the low end without using an EQ. And it's just a different approach. It's a different style that might give you a better result. And what I found is when I would boost up, let's say 80 hertz with an EQ on the main kick channel, whatever which way you want to do it. If you want to go this complicated route, or we'll just do it on the audio track, it gives it what you're looking for, but it also could introduce some boominess. I found that there's less boominess in that 80 hertz frequency bump when I use this method here. So let's play what the kick sounds like. I got a short loop here because I don't want too much space in between each kick. I want to just kind of make that kick hit constant so that when we're doing the A-B, you'll be able to really hear the difference, because these differences are very subtle. And I also want to encourage you to put some headphones on. You know, if you're not around a place when watching this tutorial where you can get your headphones, save the video, come back later, because trust me, if you try to listen to this on a phone which does not reproduce these low-end frequencies like that, it's going to be like, what were the changes, bro? So let's play the kick first here and see what it sounds like. So let's mute the dry kick, and let's mute all the other parallel processing aux tracks. So all we're hearing right now is going to be this K punch aux track. And what I did was I put on a multiband compressor. I am not using this as a multiband compressor. I'm just using this to solo out the frequency I want to bring out, which is 80 hertz. So I solo out the 80 hertz frequency range. And this is what it sounds like. Like I said, put some headphones on. You might not hear this through your phone speaker. Now I got it set at 0. Normally, I'm going to pull this down to 10 or even 15. But just so that we can hear it a bit better, I got it maxed out at 0. For the example, when I play the A and B of the drums, then I will bring it back down and reel it into the level that I know it's going to work and sound good in the mix. So we got the soloed out here. That's what it sounds like. Let's bring in the Saturn 2, which is our saturator. So the next thing that I'm doing is I am saturating this frequency. I am introducing thickness and harmonics, and I am changing it. I'm distorting it. I am making it sound different, bigger. So it's not just to try to solo out the frequency. It's now affecting it, creating harmonics, and just adding some stuff into the mix of this frequency to make it sound interesting that I can blend into the original kick drum sound. I got it set to warm tape, mix at 100%, drive 82.6. That's not intentional. That was just what it landed on when I turned the knob up. And this is the sound that we get. So you hear it has that more kind of distorted tone. Again, this is going to be blended in with the original kick track, so it's going to sound interesting. And the next thing here in my theory of making this a viable solution to increase the punch of your kick is to put a transient designer on. So I got the attack cranked up all the way up to maximum. I got the sustain all the way down. So we're trying to just bring out the transient of this frequency as much as possible. And this is the sound that we get. So essentially the sound is bigger. It's got some harmonic content, distortion sound in there. Obviously you're not hearing much top end, but it's taking that 80 hertz and it's creating some texture and some thickness to the kick drum to that 80 hertz frequency. And now we're trying to just bring out some attack and make it punchier and also get rid of some of that boomy, woofy sound that was created with the saturation. So now we got a little bit of a punchier, more defined 80 hertz frequency. And what we're going to do is play what it sounds like before and after. We're going to put it back in the mix where we had it originally, which is -10. And I'm just going to go ahead and mute the track entirely. And we're going to do an A/B comparison. So here's what it sounds like without the kick punch processing. You know what I'm going to do to also help you hear it even more? We're going to go ahead and only highlight these two kick drums that have like a lot more low end in them. Let's play it again, but in the context of the entire drum mix. The cool thing about this is that you can blend it in 100% if you want. You can blend it in only subtly. Does this conquer and defeat using an EQ and just boosting up 80 hertz? It might. Or it might not. It's a very subjective thing to do. This is what has worked for me. I have used it for an entire album that's going to be releasing very soon, and I'm very happy with the way that the drums are knocking in the car, and that is the main thing. If I tried this method and the drums are knocking, there's no distortion in the speakers, the sub and the low end is huge, and people are telling me that nobody mixes beats, nobody mixes drums like you, and I use this method, I am confident that this is one of the tools in my arsenal to get me to that place where people are telling me that my beats and my drums and my low end sounds great. So I hope that helped you want to try a different technique and try to implement something like this. If you have these plugins, if you have a multi-band compressor, some saturation, and a transient designer, try this out. Leave a comment and let me know if this was just a waste of your time or if we're onto something here and it actually worked for you. And if you're looking for some powerful ways to enhance your kick and bass relationship to get a more solid low end that doesn't distort on playback systems, then I recommend that you watch this video that pops up here and I'll break it all down for you. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. God bless you.